Calling the meeting to order on Monday, the 29th of June, 2026, Downtown Revitalization Committee at 4:04 in the afternoon. First on the agenda is to discuss proposals from consultants to help the town of Winthrop rewrite a downtown revitalization plan. Open for discussion.
Yeah, I can start with some thoughts I had. I think both, like we talked about before, are really great. I really lean toward the La Rochelle consulting. It feels more personable. I don't know if that's the right word.
That's absolutely a good word.
But right, like someone who is going to be dedicated to our project versus a larger firm that might have several projects going on. That was kind of one of my first initial thoughts, as well as like how close they are, things like that. And of course, they're cheaper. So, but that was kind of my first initial thoughts.
The timeline is much shorter.
Yes, yeah.
with La Rochelle.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see what his timeline would be.
So we're going to get more experience from North Star, but
Right, yes.
Ben's proposal was higher level. I think that's another point.
Yep.
He didn't get into nitty gritty of details of a plan content. He spoke to it overarching as phase one of an engagement with Winthrop, right? I'm a stickler. You don't put a proposal in front of anybody and have typographical errors in it. North Star had a blazing error in theirs. I caught it last week when Anthony was talking about it. I too, I'm not leaning in either direction, but I have the same reaction to Reagan's proposal being more warm and she was more intentful to writing a plan. Whereas again, this was a three-parter, so less.
And also, we were looking at the North Star one and like looking at their website too, and it's kind of just like a copy of their website. It seems like it's probably a packet that was put together, like they probably have them put together with just like the custom pieces in it, which isn't, that's not a huge red flag or anything. It makes sense as a business.
And it makes it feel like a bigger business to work with rather than like maybe more, right.
Yeah.
Right.
The only downside here is that I don't think Reagan's done one before.
Right.
Let's just put that out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they both would come out on roses.
Yeah.
A question to go, Dawn, if you, in random conversation with Anthony, would he prefer it sooner rather than later? Because I know that there's a dependency on having a plan in place.
I mean, we want to keep this moving along. We've installed.
Yeah, for sure.
But he was going to reach out to her and see, like, I think a week, he was going to try to do it. See if she could get us a proposal.
This one.
Yeah, so the whole deadline is self-imposed. There's no grant that's riding on it.
Right.
No, we want to get the TIF.
It's our own deadline, right? Okay.
So are you comfortable then if we have, well, I'll say 2 weeks, if we got the other proposal,
Yeah, I think so.
the overall?
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in waiting to hear the new proposal for sure, where they are a local resident. I would definitely be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, because
Interest.
for me, the other draw with La Rochelle is that it's close.
Yeah.
They're in Augusta. It's not super far. They probably come to Winthrop. So obviously, like having somebody who lives in the community and has a vested interest in it could be helpful.
Where's North Star?
New Gloucester. I had to find it on their website.
Southern Maine. Again, as I said, in hearing Reagan speak, she's very warm and articulate, and while you might understand, she makes you understand it even better. So good idea to wait. The sooner the better to get another one. email it to us, and I think we
Yep.
could come to
Yeah.
a meeting as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
I think so.
I just am, are we willing to wait till deliverable in December? That's the North Star plan.
Right,
Well, that's up to you all. I guess,
Okay.
and the council, right?
We
right.
were reading while we were discussing, so I don't know.
Well, I flipped through them a number of times, but you want it faster, but you want it thorough. So it's
Right.
the ability of the consultant.
Yep.
So they don't seem like they're reaching beyond their capacity. What is your preference?
I think there's advantages to both, the experience of the one, but I think there's a lot of other experience. And I think if we were to pick one, we'd probably pick Reagan right now, but let's wait and hear the one
Yeah.
from Isabel. Is that?
Yep.
Like,
IOV, Community Planning and Consulting.
Penny, you're quiet.
No, I had read them a couple of times. I tend to go to the smaller,
Yes.
I was a small business owner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have so much invested and they are still always building their reputation.
Yes.
And I just felt like the other,
Yeah.
Yep. That was
It was
how
cold.
I felt too.
It
Yeah.
was cold. It wasn't addressing winter.
Like one of many proposals they put out. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's why there's such a timeline discrepancy, like when she's working on our project, is she just working
Right.
with us?
And so
Maybe
that
that's
it's
one
faster.
other thing, whereas are these people, are they doing multiple projects at the same time? And we're just a little fish in their big pond? Right, right, yeah,
Mhm.
She had the wisdom to put together based on what the requirements are.
yes,
So,
Mhm.
yep.
I thought hers was a great.
FYI, the blazing typo,
Oh, I do want to know that, yes.
I mean, it's blaring. It's blaring. He has two task number 4s.
Oh, he does.
Blaring.
I was gonna say, it was probably an intern that did it, quite
Blaming.
honestly, right?
And there could be others, but does not that irk you?
Yeah, this should have been edited before sent out.
I feel messed
Well,
up on it.
I don't know. I make a lot of errors in my typing, so. Right. Yeah.
So you will get her proposal to us ASAP or however, whatever and is it your understanding based on the email that she is working for IOV Community Planning?
Honestly,
believe
I might be.
It looks like she owns it. That's how I interpret that.
And she owns it. She does own it. She does own
Yeah,
it.
she was working for other consultants, it sounded like before. I literally hadn't even.
Oh, yeah, I own IOV.
I own
Yep, yeah, that's she owns it.
on the second paragraph.
And
Okay, so-
she too is close to home, right?
Yeah.
She is.
Vested.
Yeah.
Vested. That's,
And I like that she didn't write and say, hey, is it too late to do it? She was just like, hey, I saw this, I'd love moving forward to be able to for anything, right? Like she wasn't asking for a pass or for,
you're in the fortunate position to use your discretion.
Right.
As opposed to hard and fast, something we're waiting on.
right. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to take Anthony. It seems pretty unanimous. Love or shell.
Yep.
We want to see the other one as soon as it's available.
Yep.
Yes.
Moving on to a review and discussion, nothing final necessarily, on the use of downtown public space policy and rules. And I want to ask some overarching, and I have redlined it, in writing, not in public, in digital form. I want to ask some questions. Will this be an ordinance?
My suggestion would be no,
Okay,
that it would be a policy.
the phraseology is used in the document, that's why I ask.
Okay.
You will have to clear that out.
I will. Hold on a second. I'm going to write that down. Yeah. So what I did just for background is I looked at a number of towns that had different ordinances or regulations. And they're very varied depending on what their downtown was like. So I appreciate the comment, and there may be more, I
Okay.
suspect.
I got a
So
ton more.
Where is that,
Where is it referenced?
yeah, the first one?
It is, the word ordinance is in number 11 under general requirements.
Thank you.
I have,
Let me ask a couple of other high-level questions first.
okay.
I'm not trying to trump you, Jamie, I just want
Totally a
to.
jumping off point. You may say, we
Okay.
don't like this at all. We're just starting.
That's really good to hear. We were sitting like looking over it and I'm like, are we voting on? I couldn't remember what we had
No,
talked. I was like, are we voting
Pull up
on?
the
this?
agenda to
I
see
was
what
like-
we were
I was
doing,
like,
because
they're
we're
gonna
like,
hate us. We're going in there.
We're just discussing, and then
When she looked back at the agenda and saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, phew.
moving closer to getting this in place.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Do you want to give the overall, the logic and how we got here?
yes.
That was
Yes,
one of my
please.
questions.
Well, it started with Dawn going to the town council and saying, it makes logical sense that there is a central location and there is no process in place in the town that tells the citizenry how to make something happen publicly.
Right.
And the town council completely agreed with Dawn that we were this group, this committee, we was a logical starting point for that. So this is how, and then Dawn put this up in December.
Okay.
And I've read it like 5 times now.
I bet.
We'd like to get it moving along.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think this is a great compilation of ideas and suggestions. Let me ask a couple of other questions about the scope of this policy. And I use that word loosely because I don't know how it'll be administered, but
Maybe you feel that it should be an ordinance, maybe the council,
I don't feel either
starting
way.
point.
I don't think it requires it. It's description of a process.
Right, it's a process.
It's a process. So a policy is a good label.
Yep.
It's not to be law or regulation. It's really, let's build a process, and that a set of committed and caring individuals are part of the front end of that process. And that we are appointed to serve the town, and we get approved. So we're a good location to begin,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and it makes sense as a policy too, because there's always room for flexibility in something like events and signs and right. And so having it be like yes or no or so black and white, I think would set it up for.
Background that, because what happened, I went to the council, but it was after a lot of discussion, downtown committee. And my own personal experience when I came was trying to sort out who's who, and things that go on downtown, when, and who's responsible. Nobody knew.
Right.
Nobody knew. There was no central place. And I didn't want to step on toes for like 2 years. We didn't do anything. And then these guys, got together and we said, it's going to be us. So this is where the policy came from. So there's all support from you guys.
And I feel too myself that word ordinance has a stronger
Yes.
impact
Yeah.
people than a policy.
Again, we're describing a process.
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing that I want to put out here on the front end of our discussion, and Dawn kind of knows how I feel about this. This speaks very specifically to public space and events. I am also concerned about public space and things. I want to be very careful. Let me give you a description. Well, it's not public space, it's public consumed. It's public consumption. So right now, there's a crew of people involved in a new mural in town. On the wall, the outer wall of what was the old Fairpoint building, the old telephone.
Where the mural was
Was.
already.
Right,
Okay.
Right. The History Society Center is involved with that.
Can I stop you? Not you.
Oh, great.
There's no funds.
Okay, got
I
it.
had to talk to Anthony. And there are,
Got it.
So we wouldn't be stepping on toes if we got involved in that somehow, or are we just saying it's just not going to happen?
it's true, we've,
Oh, okay.
Again, that building is owned
yeah.
Yeah.
by a man out of Portland, South
Mhm.
Portland, who knows? So it's not public, a
Okay.
public space, but it is public.
Mm-hmm.
Highly visible.
I-
Yeah.
Right away.
It will be consumed, and I don't have the right words in my head on how I would like to be able to broaden this policy to embrace, um, help me here.
Well, you could include in like, so under, so temporary decorations and signs, right? Like that could be expanded
Yes,
to include.
Yes, and
like
that's-
decoration, signs, art,
Bethany, it's perfect.
right?
because-
Like,
Because up top it says purpose and it's very specific about events in public spaces. It says
Right.
public ways. But we also talk about temporary decorations and signs. And I think the way to embrace that is under purpose. we're
Yeah.
Talking about regulating events and use of,
publicly viewed space.
yeah.
Well, couldn't it fall under public ways though? Because you can,
And I would say
No.
public ways and spaces, just
Yeah.
broaden. So you hear where I'm saying,
Mhm.
um,
I wonder what, like if other towns have specific, I feel like in some places that might be a specific, like murals and artwork might have its own policy,
it may-
right? And so, yeah.
You're missing here. So the art teacher at the high school,
Mm-hmm.
she inherited this project,
Oh, okay.
okay? And the kids made all the murals originally. And that's the biggest thing. They wanted to have them do that again. Some of the drawbacks are kids can't be on lifts.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Cart
out of Hollowell.
out of Hollowell was going to work with us and do the paintings and things like that. He came back with, and I'm not sure, it was between 4,000 and 6,000.
It was a $5,000 estimate, yes.
And that was, he knew that prices.
And that's
prices
just
would go up.
materials, it's not
Right.
labor.
Yeah.
Because with the kids and and we won't paint it on the wall this time. We'll do as they've done in Hollowell, paint it on these appropriately selected and not cheap, huge pieces of canvas.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And it's externally
And
acceptable.
then it doesn't get wiped away in
Right.
the future when
And
you want to.
they
Right.
know how to adhere them. They've done a bunch down in Hollowell. They know the whole process. So it's a materials expense.
Mm-hmm.
The kids at school and he are offering their time and labor to do this, to paint them,
Mm-hmm.
and use of Chris's company to hang them. But again, there's still money involved,
Right.
right? So
And
that,
Chris would have to get people to hang that.
Yeah.
And that would be another expense.
they'd be painted on the ground
Yeah.
by the kids, but ultimately, and they've come up with a design which is not at all offensive. That's
Right, right.
None of it,
of course.
none of this is it's just
Sure, it's beautiful.
broadening this policy to embrace things.
Well, and I think you could include something like crosswalks and
Let's
street
be-
art, things like
be
sidewalk
careful.
art, things like that.
We'd love to find a way to authorize what kind of signage goes up on Main Street.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just temporary
Mhm.
decorations and signs. I would say,
Right. So you want the exterior signs of the businesses to be cohesive.
yes.
Yes.
And let me,
Like in,
let me
That's how it is in historical
Right.
districts.
Let me
Right.
go back to, there's always been, and it's mentioned briefly in the comp plan, that there are, and this is just, again, I want to be very careful about how we embrace that in this policy, but wouldn't it be wonderful if grandfathering in everybody who lives out there, but there were facade guidelines, front guidelines
Absolutely.
for Main Street. And those guidelines could be authored by this group. And it's not a high priority, but it's something to think about over long term. So while we're doing this, let's think about signage, permanent or temporary.
Yeah.
I,
to be honest, the temporary decorations and signs paragraph doesn't say a lot about signs. Like what kind of signs we're allowing or disallowing or whatever. I mean, I guess that comes when we have to approve permits for things, but I feel like having a guideline of like, well, we don't want political signs up on the telephone poles or something. Not that that happens, but you know. Oh my
Stay there. I came out of the history.
God.
Again, and I don't want us to, let's take this as is, but keep in mind those thoughts about broadening it
Yeah,
some way gently, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And not keep it to, and not to use the word theme totally, but that it's cohesively
Mhm.
runs together no matter. any-
Right, right. And I always think of,
Drive down and you're not going,
right, I always think of Freeport and the McDonald's in Freeport.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And let's be funny. Here in Winthrop, we have this beautiful home on Main Street that is a gorgeous yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And we would let that house stay, but if anybody decided to repaint that house, we could potentially have facade guidelines in
Right.
place that
Within
might,
the historical district or,
right?
yeah.
And I love it. I do love it.
Listening to everything you're saying, and I have seen in different plans, recommendations for design guidelines for downtown. And I think you need to finish the comprehensive plan to have
Right.
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
Create them.
Because what do we want the signs to look like? Like
Well-
what colors do we want or whatever?
Right. Like, yeah, that would be.
Plan in the vision statement said that the town would have white buildings with black shutters, very specifically.
Wow.
And I found that to be interesting, that was the vision at the time.
But no, not enforceable because there wasn't a policy.
I didn't.
Right, that's a good point.
So whatever the vision is, that was the vision at the time. When we get to that point, and I would say it is pretty important because
Yeah.
as development happens, it may not happen again for that property for 20 years. You miss that opportunity.
Again, and we'd let everybody stay the way they are, but when it gets once it's repainted or it's moved, it's kind of like the comp plan. I give you another example. We would love to start tracking health and well-being of septic systems
Mm,
on properties in Winthrop,
yeah,
especially shorefront.
Right.
yeah.
That is unrelated to this.
Yeah.
But it's something that we would love to see when properties change hands.
Yes.
There's an assessment done and it goes on record. Again, futuristically thinking, let's start, there's another long-term, but just unrelated. So that's my hope that we could probably try to embrace
Yeah, that makes sense.
signage and broader displays in town.
operations.
Yep.
As it
Just so
becomes,
we're,
as the businesses become, there's more of them downtown, there's more competition, signs become cut,
Mm-hmm.
really do, and they're expensive to make, and everyone wants their sign, so.
Right. And not
to
having
think about.
guidelines saying you can have up to
Require
this size, you can it can be located, this height, this whatever. You get people, can block people out and they can, yeah, for sure.
No.
Right, exactly.
That it
Yeah.
has to be just.
Yep.
Well, I feel like I've seen towns or even like big shopping plazas where the signs are all the same color font, but like each business has their own, whatever their branding font is on the sign. Or
Right.
something like that. Like
Like when
there's a
you-
way to be creative within a box.
Like when you drive into the marketplace, there are signs along the way that tell you where places are. And then once you get to those, so it's, to me, that's the kind of the thought too is that.
Wayfinding signs is another.
Right,
element
yeah.
of the aesthetic, but also the function.
Yeah.
Right.
Many good things to cities.
Are you done with your thoughts that you had, or do you have more?
there's probably a ton more, but let's just stop there and
Okay.
start going through the document from top to bottom.
Yeah, so I had a couple overarching ones as well. And so something I found myself not sure of is what region or space this policy covers.
There isn't a map currently,
Okay.
so that needs to be determined.
Okay, because sometimes we're saying downtown, sometimes we're saying town streets, sometimes we're,
saying
and
Main
so, because I was like, well, what if I want to have a birthday at the East Winthrop Beach? Like, does this policy cover that? Or put a sign down there for some reason? Like, and so that was a question, and I don't need an answer necessarily, but just as a, and then clarity on the approving or the the governing, I know, like the hierarchy, I guess, because sometimes it's the town council is listed, and sometimes it just says a town official. Sometimes it says us, like it doesn't,
It's not.
it seems right, yeah.
Watch that as we go through.
Yeah, and so that was another thing. We got that, okay, all right. I think those were like the overarching, so.
Me, did you have anything you wanted to start with, or you just want to go?
Let's just go through it. Let's do it.
Do you want me to read out loud, maybe, the first paragraph, and we can?
It's just anything in the first paragraph.
Okay, so community events provide opportunities for people to come together, socialize, build relationships, and make the community more cohesive overall by fostering a sense of connection and belonging among residents. I mean, I think that feels,
I have nothing that, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
It's a bland statement of purpose. I don't know that you need to read it.
mhm.
Let's go around the table. Jamie, anything?
I mean, it's kind of like what you were talking about with the mural, or like, you know, if we ever decide to paint a crosswalk or whatever, like I mean, it's just the purpose. I don't know how specific it really needs to be.
So I've circled the word events twice.
Yep.
I'd like to say events and
So like, could we,
Events, decorations, and signs, like just put it all together.
yes, that's a good idea. In
and regulating the use of public space instead of
say-
that?
I would say regulating events.
Well, I even think not specifying in here, because you're going to specify down below, right? Like in
Well, you got to say, what are you regulating?
the use of
Right,
public
because right
space.
now it only says regulating events. It's not.
Right, so
like,
if
it
you say
doesn't
the use of
include-
public space, then that includes any use
Oh,
of
I see
public
what you're
space, right?
Regulating use of public ways and spaces.
And then we need to come up with a map for where that.
Public use of public ways and spaces, and that embraces walls and bulletin boards and
Provide the town with a mechanism for evaluating,
take
regulating.
out the word events. No, don't add anything. Just regulating use of public ways and spaces. And Dawn, I'm going to offer to provide you with an edited,
Oh, that would be great.
and
That would be
based on what we decide.
Mhm.
So you've got to give me time to make sure I have the right notes.
And I'll send you guys the transcript again, and it's AI, so, you know, there's going to be errors in it.
Mhm.
Like, for myself, it's helpful.
On
Municipal resource.
town-owned, and there should be a hyphen if you be consistent, you have, it's hyphenated later, so I'm just,
Yes.
properties to help ensure availability of municipal resources to balance community and safety in order to properly, I would say, minimize adverse, just to remove properly minimize, just leave out that phrase, manage the events. Does that make sense?
Taking up maintenance, accountability, and liability uses and just putting what?
Mm.
Sorry, I missed.
Balance community uses with safety in order to properly minimize adverse acts and to protect public safety.
I was looking in the wrong section, I apologize.
Removing 4 words, managing the events too. And we can review it again. Okay,
I would maybe clarify adverse impacts to who? Or is
So
that
adverse
implied by the rest of it, and to protect public safety? Like adverse
be-
impacts to the town, the businesses, the community, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that right answer is, but.
it's a broad statement. Trying to
Right.
encompass. everything.
Yep.
And we know that we're talking about ways and spaces.
Right.
And below, we talk about parks, streets, building, things.
Right.
So I don't know that it needs to
Okay. Yeah.
be there, but we can come back again.
Okay.
Let's just do one pass and then we can come back again. Make sense?
Yep.
Definitions. Does it have to be a special event or just an event?
Right, we have to define what event means.
I think we want to just,
Do you want to say any event? or
So
say
maybe,
events.
Event, yeah.
Events.
I would.
well, right, but there's different kinds of events, so it makes sense. So on the general, nope, down here, like they have recurring special events, also like,
I think special just
Talking
doesn't
about-
need to be used.
Just
It's
event.
too many words.
so do we want to define,
Some are special, some are.
right,
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's special when I do the laundry, but
And if you dignify it with, separating it out, people are going to be so confused.
right,
They're going to have so many more questions.
Mhm.
Just use one single word.
right,
All,
mm-hmm,
then you're.
right. Because an event can range from a 1-year-old's birthday party at the Point to a 5K through downtown. But like so if we say special event, I wonder if like the parents of that 1-year-old might think, well, this is just a birthday party, so I don't need a permit for this.
yep,
Again, and we use the word special in that paragraph, so it's used. I have no problems with this paragraph necessarily. I have questions about it, other than I have grammatical changes.
so
I have
we would need to define the area and then
Right.
So I've got,
update that, because Town Street, I mean,
I've got the district area up here as a question mark, and we're not going to do that here today.
right,
Right.
right, but it would just be, right,
Because we have zoning, right, which is land use, and then we have the downtown plan, which was picked specifically around economic development of businesses. And then we're going to be talking about a TIF, so that there's multiple areas to look at and decide what.
yeah.
Yep.
And so that will just have to be updated once we.
So, and
do
it
that.
does say street, and street is lowercase, I would lowercase park. Again, I'm looking for consistency in typing.
Right.
And I will do that kind of stuff. When I do some editing, I'll do that consistency kind of stuff. And when I edit it for Dawn and us, do we want to include buildings as a word? Street, park, building? I don't-
Is building fall under property though, maybe?
Well-
Other town-owned property?
Are parks town-owned? I don't know. That's why
Right.
so I wanted to be specific to say, let's say somebody wanted to do something crazy in here, have a New Year's party in here in this
Right.
room, right?
Right.
So a town building,
I would
Yeah.
think that property covers that, but I'm not opposed to adding it too. I think, yeah,
leave it.
We'll know in the future.
we will, because people will people.
I have a question about school facilities. Because I was under the impression that the property manager for the schools was responsible for events at facilities.
And it does say it's an exemption. Do we need that?
Well,
Because it
that's-
only says sporting events, graduations, or similar uses, but like as the
We have
PTO,
held
like we
many
use,
events
we use,
at the
hold dances and kids night out and things like that. So like
Like
would,
at the field, if I want to do a community walk around the field on the track, is that the town that we have to get permission from, or just the school, or?
Well, the committee is the Downtown Revitalization Committee, so we want to keep in mind that we're focusing on economic.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know how far out that might impact, like if there are events like here that may impact what's going on downtown, I think it's something to consider. I think that's gray.
yeah, right, that's,
Well, and that's just bringing it up, because this specifies the kind of events happening at schools that are exempt. So, but we have had a variety of events at the schools, multiple schools, and so this one included. And so that would just, I think, need to be clarified to me.
I would think the school board the superintendent might have some input.
Yeah.
Well, they have the school has a process
We
to
do
use
have a
their
process
building.
To use their buildings.
Yeah,
already.
and I know that, but this reads as we should be getting permission, filling this application out as well. That's how I read this and interpret this.
You do?
I do, yeah, because it doesn't,
I read it as an exemption. Exemption.
held at school facilities.
They don't, this does not apply to anything going on at a school facility.
So that's not what this says. This says scheduled activities, sporting events, graduations, plays, or similar use. What we do is not similar to that, to me. Why not? Like,
Right.
just my interpretation of, we hold kid night outs and we hold dances and we hold,
I'm not sure I understand. We are not going to hold this policy, and no one will need to apply for a permit through our auspices.
so then it should just say school facilities are exempt.
Right.
Why are we even,
Because they
why
have
are we
their
even
own
saying
process
that?
For anyone to use their
Oh,
buildings.
Right.
Oh,
So why are schools even
Like
mentioned?
just take the school facilities out or say that they're exempt, but in general, without the
It
parentheses.
does say they're exempt.
I know, but without, because the things in the parentheses add specification to it that don't fit everything. So if we just take that out.
Like they do square dancing and the,
Similar uses, I thought.
right, but square dancing isn't similar to those to me. Right?
Okay.
Like, and
Then-
so I'm not saying that I
Then
think
if we
they
take
should
the
have to fill this
parenthetical
out.
statement out.
I'm just saying
If
one
we-
might
if
think
we
they have to.
Take the parenthetical statement out and just say scheduled activities held at school facilities.
I would just say
Yeah.
activity, like funeral possessions and school properties, maybe? I don't know. Are all school properties?
But everything
owned
done
by
at the school
state?
is scheduled though, right? Like no one's just showing up to the
Well,
school to.
Well, right, but I guess, I don't know, to me, scheduled, why is it there if everything's scheduled? Why do we have to specify it?
Right. I think my concern and when I was reading it was it took me a second to think, oh, we probably don't.
Right.
But like another person reading, like I'm thinking of the entire town
Yes,
reading this
yes.
and being confused by the statement.
Yes.
It says exemptions, colon.
But then it gives examples.
Okay, remove the
and-
examples.
Right.
Yeah.
Remove the examples.
And then it's good.
Funeral processions, activities held at school facilities,
Yeah, that seems better.
and/or scheduled sporting events with the recreation department are all exempt or exempt from.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense than to add the other information. It feels like the other information,
Again, we'll pass through it again.
Muddies it,
We'll try
yeah.
again. I'll remove that and clean it up and make it more succinct.
Take the special,
Does that make it what I'm,
take the special out of the list.
yeah, all the specials are going away.
Take the special out.
And I could say from these event permit requirements.
yeah, and so I
Yes.
will also preface, I plan lots of events at my job. And so I always am coming at a point of the most obnoxious way someone can think of something because they will. They will. People will people. That's what I say. And it's not negative. It's just everyone's experience. That's how they respond. Their experiences shape how they respond. So, yeah. All right.
So I
So
think,
then this next one would be what I think we should separate some information in here. So,
let's just try to remove the word temporary from,
yeah, decorations and signs. I think so.
and then, and let's be careful, decorations could go up for an entire month.
Right.
Or lights around columns.
Right.
The mural is probably going to be up when it goes up.
Right.
It'll be up for decades, probably.
Right. I think decorations, removing temporary helps
And I-
encompass that.
Let's see if we can just take temporary out of the whole paragraph.
Okay.
Here's again. Decorations.
Town infrastructure. So utility poles made me stop and think, what is a utility pole to you downtown?
Like the.
No, I'm
Yeah,
okay.
they're telephone poles, light
But
poles.
can we regulate what goes on telephone poles?
I thought you aren't supposed to put like.
Right,
you're
no,
not-
I
yeah.
agree, but like, that's not we don't own
Light
them, right?
poles Are what we should focus
The
on.
light poles, okay.
Okay, so I would say infrastructure and then maybe not just take out like utility poles.
Yep.
Yeah, like don't offer an example.
Just because my brain went to telephone poles, which then went to, but those are owned by utility companies and you can't tell me what I can put on a pole owned by someone else. You know what I mean? Like, even though they don't allow it, right? Like, um,
So I think, go on to that. I'm just passing over aesthetic consideration and I'm going to lowercase c because
Yeah, I was thrown by that too.
can I also ask, so this kind of goes kind of what you were saying. So does this mean any of the businesses downtown need a permit to place anything on the exterior of their building?
sentence 3 instead.
Okay.
It says displays in the public right of way or town owned. And I want to be careful because a sign on the front of a building is not the public right of way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Public right of way is the road and the sidewalks. So I think we're going to have to come up with crafting a sentence that embraces town signage. And I don't want to be embracing and be awful about this. And I see Dawn nodding her head.
Well, and so
When you say town signage, do you mean like the wayfinding signs we're talking about or like
what
street
this-
signs?
Signs in town, signs.
So can I also,
Like on buildings and,
Yeah.
okay, I just want to be clear, that's all.
before
using the
we
word
keep
town,
talking,
not
I get it.
specifically, right?
so this is also under definitions, but it feels like it provides more information than definitions in this blurb.
It does. In fact, the last sentence was
So,
totally
because right,
parenthetical.
it says these permits typically specify, but that's not what this paragraph should be about. This should just be what is, and maybe
What is a
decoration
decoration and a sign?
should be separate than sign, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
decoration, like,
Decorations are flower pots.
Right.
Or they're,
Or
or
like-
they're little flags for 4th of July.
or the thing that has the vines on it, right? Like,
In front of.
right, like they have that. So if someone else puts up some obscene thing, right, like by our definition, right? Like if it's, you know what I mean? Like they're going to be, well, they have that up and, you know, whatever, like it can spiral. And so I think we should have under definitions. So the event, decorations, and then signs should all be different because under signs is where you would be able to specify permanent, temporary, et cetera. Or under,
Yeah.
I guess, under application
Signs
is
mean a
where-
lot of things.
Yes.
Let me try to come up with a soft description of what we are trying to achieve with regulating signs.
Mhm.
Careful.
Yeah.
So both Penny and I, when this neon rotating sign came and blurting out over the sidewalk, we both were stunned and
Mm-hmm.
well, not, you know,
I was.
what did you think of it? The two of you,
I
When-
haven't noticed,
when
I
was
guess.
that?
it was the drywall company.
Oh, yes.
To be was.
It's
Yes.
the husband of the dog
I
groomer.
remember it.
Yeah,
Who's the facility, they probably had a 5-year.
Yeah,
record
Right.
In the, you know,
right.
drywall business, and a sign that just didn't fit the town vibe. And I'm using
Right.
words loosely here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, it
don't
was
know, but-
horrible.
When you saw it, what did you think?
I wanted to turn around because it was so obnoxious.
So
It was just, it
We
was,
just didn't.
it didn't, no.
So
no.
the word fitting our town conscience, our,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, take Pickle Potions when she opened. It was very tasteful.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just picking, and everything is very tasteful. And I think that I'm going to try to figure out, and maybe Dawn will find some words out there that embrace this. I don't know. Are you opposed or in favor or?
I'm not opposed. I think it's important. It's very difficult. Design guidelines You have to keep them broad enough that they'll be embraced, but then sometimes they're hard to apply because they're so broad.
Right.
So there's this fine line.
So you hear me trying to say,
Especially where we're not
Yeah.
a historic district. If we were a historic district, we could,
Yeah.
or whatever, like we could.
Even then, shade versus color.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point, like shade versus color. Yeah.
I think I think that we should create them. You've talked about it, the planning board's talked about it. I do believe it's in in some of the plans. I don't think you should shy away from it, but recognize that it is difficult because it's, it's subjective.
so, and maybe it's not, again, I want to be careful in this definition, and what we want to do is, I don't know that I want them to have to permit that. This is so I'm a little conflicted here. I don't want Pickles Potion have to come permit what they put on the front of their building.
Right.
That's not,
Like whenever they want to change out their display, right? Like they would have to.
and so that's where the muddy gets here. It's just,
You're talking about temporary signs here. The other is permanent.
so
So when I read this and saw temporary decorations and signs, I was thinking like the signs you stick in the ground, like to advertise a new business or political signs or whatever, or signs up on a pole. I didn't even think signs on the buildings.
So how do we embrace being part and parcel of a mural?
So is it the community's use of the space in this way and not business owners? Or is it, do we define who?
We need to back
Yeah.
up for this.
Yeah.
We go back to simply temporary.
But I think well, right, but that could still impede on businesses putting something up, right?
Right.
If someone puts a pride thing up and then someone puts something that's, opposite of that.
I see what you're
There's-
saying. We're not ready to do this right now.
Yeah.
So having it as a policy makes no sense.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, for sure.
So
We do need to start looking at, we have requirements in the ordinance, we have standards for signs, but we don't require a permit.
okay.
And personally, I believe even if the town says, well, we're not going to charge you a fee, it should be documented. I can't tell you the fights that I have seen over signs. I think it would benefit anyone because when regulations change, they generally are more restrictive. And so people to protect themselves should have a picture, have the dimensions. We could have it here at Town Hall. I don't know if it would be embraced, but it assures that people are at least looking at the standards, even if we don't have to approve it. But some documentation would be very helpful moving forward, in my experience.
Can I ask a question? Right now, is there any policy or procedures or whatever on the town books about signage
Yeah.
for businesses?
There is an ordinance.
In
yeah.
the zoning ordinance.
But nobody knows it exists.
Yeah, I was going to say with the historical might be in violation.
And so Mr. Dano, who put up his drywall business, and I don't even remember his name, but I think it was Dano Drywall. Does that?
That sounds right. Yeah.
I was too
He
busy.
didn't know that he needed to comply
Right.
with
But then
an
How could you
ordinance.
know if you don't know?
So that,
Right.
But when they're asked, they're just told, well, you got to comply, but you don't
Yeah.
have to do anything beyond that to show us to
Right.
step. And for better or for worse, that's the way it is right now.
so perhaps, let me just, not necessarily part of a permitting process, but the downtown revitalization has a policy that says, that publishes this ordinance and says, here's what you must comply with.
Right.
And then it's more public, that there's a way for us to make that ordinance more public, so the townspeople are more aware, so that,
Well, and it might be nice to have a meeting with the local business owners first instead of blindsiding them with,
none of us would ever have
Policy.
been aware of when Melanie left the grooming and her husband jumped into the space and put up a sign. There would never have been
right.
Right.
intervention with the town saying, oh, and by the way, Mr. Daniel Drywall, you can't do that.
Right.
It's in an ordinance that
Right.
says absolutely no.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty standard thing, residential or commercial, that if you're making a change to your space, that there may be something that tells you how you can do that, right? Like we just replaced our steps.
We would assume.
Like I know that I don't know what it is, right? But I know there's something that my town is dictating to me on how I can do that, whether I can enlarge it or this or that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's a pretty standard thing.
Especially with the change of use, because it could
So-
change code requirements, occupancy.
Especially being in a downtown space, I don't know. And it doesn't mean that's common sense for everybody. I'm not saying that. But as a business owner, I feel like you should be aware that you're making a change to something that's outwardly facing, maybe check into it. To me, I don't think it needs to be so like hand holding I don't know. I guess I don't know what my point is, but.
It's hard to say. I mean, I just, let's move on.
Yeah, yep.
We're at the 5 minutes to 5.
Wow. Already.
Let's, I agree about the rest of this paragraph being overarchingly, like, the last sentence is absolutely not relevant to a definition of decorations and signs at all whatsoever.
Right, like this paragraph should just be the definition of
What is
what
a
classifies
decoration and a sign?
decoration and what classifies signs. And then the rest should be under.
Because the event
application.
definition does that. It tells you
Right.
what events could include.
So if I'm telling you any deck must comply with current applicable file codes, that's not a definition, that's a guideline.
Right, right,
So let me work this around and
Yep.
move some of this around. I don't say it shouldn't be said somewhere in this.
right. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Let's hit the high points that you guys
Yep.
got. I'm gonna go jump to, unless you guys have anything in applicability or exception.
Just
don't
say
think
yes,
so.
flexible and temporary, but otherwise no.
Nothing? I'm gonna jump to Downtown Revitalization Committee. And it's,
I would say other than that, it's just focused on events. It doesn't say anything about signs or decorations in there. It's just the application for, yeah.
right, circling it, got it. Very, Downtown Revitalization Committee will work with, it's the following departments where applicable. I'm not gonna talk to people at Parks and Recreation when I'm dealing with,
Yeah, as applicable, yeah. And so also, I guess I will also say, having this as a header topic confused me as to who is in charge of overseeing this policy and procedure. I don't know why I don't know why that's there.
Because the council is adopting it, so it's a council policy. And maybe it should be worded differently, but the
Okay.
intent is that the council is the one, so you're all.
So if an
approved by
event
the
comes
council.
in or an application comes in under this policy, is it just this committee that's tasked with reviewing does it go to us and then the council? Or is it both,
Does it
depending
depend
on what it is?
What you
Depends on what it is.
You could have
Because
thresholds.
Because that's not clear in here anywhere.
And it goes to the reviewing departments that you just noted. They would all weigh in. And then, so is it a recommendation to the council regarding the application? Is it you approve them all?
Right.
Is it you approve some? That's to be determined.
Okay.
I think we would decide as a group, and I could add this saying,
Right, like, is it like these, like, we're reviewing them and giving a recommendation to the council, but we aren't approving one of these, right?
Yeah, yep, maybe.
So is that the same
maybe.
process, or is it,
That we have the
Right.
final say.
Well, we're going to propose this to the council, so it could be,
they could
Whatever
say,
you want
yes, we want you to
proposed.
take care of it, or, right, okay. And so I would say this should be not called the Downtown Revitalization Committee, it should be communication, like interdepartment, like coordination or something like that. Because that's what this is saying, is that the Downtown Revitalization Committee and all these other departments will work together. I don't know why.
I think it's saying that we are the avenue.
Right.
Right, but even then, even if that is the case, like, it's telling me about recurring events, non-recurring events, scheduling, and now it's telling me about the revitalization committee. That's what this paragraph should do, is tell me about this committee. If it's based on the content of the rest of the titles.
Say that this committee is responsible for facilitating.
I think that should be,
These app-
whoever is doing that should be at the beginning.
Say where?
At the beginning, under purpose, I would think.
Under purpose?
Yeah, like the governing body or I don't know how you say it. And then I think this paragraph is important, but it's not,
Maybe it
it's
should
about
be-
communication
Well, I
and
wonder
working
if it should be
together.
like, instead of being called Downtown Revitalization Committee, maybe it should say review process or something like.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you say is that at the very beginning, what committee or what town program or
Right.
whatever, that's what this does.
Yeah.
Rest of this whole thing, this is that committee or
Yeah,
whatever. it's
I'll say
called.
purpose and call it process right now and do front end report.
perfect.
Right.
Rather than wait till
And then
page two.
this.
So
Yes,
maybe under
yeah.
education, right? Like, so, or education, application, like, so we have purpose here, right? And then we have some definitions to help us define the purpose. And so under application, it should be like,
Well, right now it
Who
says
governs
subject,
it?
well, it says subject to review by town staff, so maybe that's where we put the Downtown Revitalization Committee.
right.
So it's a little bit more clear.
In 2.5 pages, they're gonna say,
Yes, correct.
Well, that's exactly what we were thinking as we were going through it, like, who do we contact if we want a birthday party at the gazebo?
Right. And so then the rest of this, right, well, Phyllis has said, okay, so it says we'll facilitate the review of applications. They'll incur in conjunction with the following departments. So I think, I don't know why that's there.
We would circulate applications that come in to the reviewing departments for their input. And then that would be all coordinated and brought to you.
So for me, under
That
application,
should be under.
it should be like application and then the like review process. There should be like a application review process and the steps to that. I don't know if that's too granular for this.
Will be reworked to be reviewed.
Okay, all right.
Let's give you an example.
Yep,
The annual fireworks.
right,
It's a recurring event.
Right,
That the chamber currently owns and operates, and they would put in an application every January.
Right.
As defined here. It would come to us as opposed to going
wherever.
wherever.
Right.
right,
And we would pull in the police.
right,
Fire department.
right.
And we
Yes.
would get.
Because not all of those need to be pulled into everything.
Apply.
Right,
Right.
They could just glance it and say not applicable. But I
Right.
do like a response, even not applicable, because you know at least they're aware of it.
yeah, that's true,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
I do like adding where applicable because I'm really not going to talk to,
And so, yeah, that would definitely go under like the review process, I think.
I will try to do this again. So let's move on to scheduling, just get the words well in advance mean nothing.
Nothing, yes.
We need a
However-
time frame.
Two paragraphs
It
later,
is
Yes.
defined later,
Yes.
but it should be defined immediately.
it says at least 45 days in advance, two paragraphs.
Well, and I would say, well, because for recurring events, they have to be received on or before the January 15th of that year. So that's not within 45 days.
It would have to say both in the sentence.
So I would say should be the scheduling application should be submitted as defined below.
There's no magic to that 45 days. It was an example.
Yeah, no, I know, but
Right.
where there are somewhere, because,
I'm going to go scheduling non-recurring events and scheduling recurring events.
Perfect.
okay,
I'm trying to
Yep.
use what we got here as best,
yes.
you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I feel like 45 days is fair.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's
100%.
a great time frame.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Well, I guess, I mean,
And so honestly,
it's
that's
hard
one of
because it could
those-
depend on the event. Like if it's a really big event, we might need more than 45 days to coordinate with
But that's where
appropriate
we would say,
offices.
this isn't approved because we don't feel there's enough time. But I also feel like there are small events that could be,
We could do it in a week.
and I think
I
that,
need the police and the fire department for an event, 45 days may not.
Okay.
I feel it's the same as this, right? Like, even though there wasn't a deadline specified for this, or maybe there wasn't, it was but it's self-imposed, right?
Thing about no less than 45 days in advance.
Yes.
And a sentence that says, if your event requires further town
Coordination, right?
engagement,
It may not be approved
May not be
with,
approved if you've not come at us soon enough. And I'll
right, yeah.
to that effect.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because, right, like a parade is different than
A birthday party.
a birthday party, right?
Just gonna keep using that example.
I'd like to raise real quick, because I
Yes.
was going to get you calendar information and a list of
Yep.
events, and I have not done that yet.
Yep.
It's on my list. I think it's so important, because even looking at this here, like a parade or trying to think of something, what events do we already do that we could be looking at this?
That's true. That's a good
So I
point.
apologize, I didn't get it.
No,
to
that's
you.
okay.
And I don't know them all, because
Right.
I've been just catch as catch
Yep.
can. So we got to make
Okay.
it more inclusive.
Yep.
But I will get that to you, and I think that might help inform some of
I
what
think
you're
so
looking
too.
at.
I agree.
Say this again real quick so I fully understand. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so looking at all of the events you have in town currently.
Yep.
And just looking that in regards to the ordinance, to just use that to kind of inform the regulation.
Right.
Well, first of all, so that it would allow all of the events that you have, because that's an unintended consequence. And then looking at the types of accommodations they need, like trash barrels and police and, with the fire.
Right.
Yeah, signage. So seeing what already happens and then kind of backing into this somewhat to make
Right.
sure that it's appropriate and covers everything.
I might not know about all the things that happen or fireworks, for example, but
Mhm.
I
Right.
have a pretty good idea.
But it probably needs to be done in more than 45 days.
Well, those,
And it's recurring anyway.
So,
you need to come at me by the 15th of January, flat out.
Absolutely.
so I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask a question. So the fireworks, they're getting a permit, if they're doing this and they're getting a permit just for the fireworks? Like,
They are happening. Did I send you an email with that?
They are,
information?
Jan,
Okay.
on the 3rd, yeah.
well, what I'm trying to so does that close down, like they have to request to close down the street?
That's, the permit will include that. And
Right, that would be part of the logistics of it.
and the fire department and all those engaged in the request, the permit application, and it's pretty rote, it'll get approved, but they,
Right.
that said, their application will cover all of that.
Okay. And so then there's a race, right, that happens near the 4th of July too, down there?
Yep.
And so if we were doing the fireworks on the 4th, that would just be a simultaneous event. That's not,
Let me
right?
ask a question. Do you know offhand, does the Legion also, although everything they do is on their own property, I'm just being careful here, do they put up for a permit to do what they do on the 4th?
I don't think
that
they
I'm
would
aware
have to, right? Because they're not
All on their own
public property.
Exception of perhaps they
They
put
have their food truck
on the road.
on the road,
Well, what's our?
But that's-
but they probably already have a permit for that,
The
right?
food truck is permitted.
Yeah.
Food trucks are permitted, so.
Something going, so there's going to be.
But like what you're trying to say is they're not having an event on public property, but they're attracting a
Oh, does
lot
it
of
fall under
people at the
the-
same time as other events that may be happening on the 4th of July. Is that
Right, I guess that's kind of where I was so if the road's closed down because the chamber has submitted an application for their event, and
We
can
don't,
they then oh, well, we're going to do this on the road too? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
And then this year, there's going to be sewer water projects going on right now.
Yeah.
So we'll have the ability to coordinate all of that if we know in advance. And
and I suppose my thought isn't a specific question or something. It's just more I don't know. It's just a thought.
if you think about it, there's a lot of labor that goes on behind the scenes to make the fireworks happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Example, the town clerk or the town manager or somebody in the town put out an email today telling the town, you can't park at Norcross Point
Yeah.
for after 5 PM.
Right.
And that's a labor. Somebody's writing that email, somebody's posting that electronically to Winthrop Alert,
And then
and nobody.
making it happen at the time of.
So
And coordinating with the police department to
this is
close
one of
everything
my
down.
other back end, is there a fee associated with this application?
not proposed, but
yeah.
definitely could be something that you.
We should consider that.
Right.
Nominal fee,
Right.
25 or $50. I'm just saying.
Well,
Like an
I-
administrative fee.
I would say that
Yeah.
that should be based
Yeah.
on event and facilities.
Right,
Because the
right.
person having a birthday party in the gazebo should not have to pay the same as someone
Doing
shutting down a
fireworks.
street. Yeah.
All right.
So like at a state park, right?
But maybe
you
like
pay
dependent
per
on the size of your event, there may be an administrative fee to process everything.
Talk about it. I'm not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
putting it out
But
there.
that
Yeah.
could just be, that doesn't have to be in the policy, I don't think. That could just be in the application. Does it have to be outlined in the policy if there's a fee or not?
It probably should, or what if we're all
Because it
not
could
here?
change. Well, and my thought is like over time, it's going to change. So would we have to
We reference the council approved fee, and then they have a schedule of fees. It needs to be
Okay.
updated, but there is.
Yes,
Okay.
Sliding scale fee.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
has size of event,
Mhm.
under 100.
So just as an example where I work, like we have rental spaces, but if you want to have a wedding, it's a different process because it's a different type of event than a birthday party. And so it costs more because there's more.
Private event.
Yeah.
And that could be scaled to how many participants.
Right. Yeah.
To a public event.
Well, it really is dependent on how much are we going to be using town staff?
And so I
Like you
think that's
said,
what
like
the-
we have
like
to have
that's the whole
somebody
purpose of it.
posting on Facebook and sending out emails for the 4th of July fireworks, but little Susie who's having her first birthday, we don't have to do that. So I think it's a great idea and I think it just has to be dependent on the event.
Yeah.
So can I just say,
Mhm.
I'm on the Lake Association too. We currently have 607 registered participants for the 5K.
Wow.
That's higher than we've had in the past.
That's amazing.
We've been working on this since last November,
Believe it.
things together because,
You have a permit.
you know what, I'm to that. So that's a very good question. Was going through my head about 5 minutes ago. I'm not sure. I can't answer that question, but it's been going for years. And so.
Well, and so with that
That's another
event,
thing.
are there police resources used or town resources to block off traffic or anything like that?
Really?
Yes.
So to me, there should like,
And the Legion
But-
and also because it's.
You're using town road.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand, historically, does that organization talk to the police department and say, hey, we want this road block? Like, we just had an event and we had to pay $800 to have a car sit on the road by our crossing point.
Odyssey Watershed did this.
So does
now
the
they're-
police department charge a fee?
I don't know. Association has taken this, run it
Right.
with it.
Because if the police department charges a fee to use their officers to help things, then I don't think we should charge a fee for that as well.
Right. I see.
Like, we didn't have to get a permit from the city of Augusta to do what we did. We just reached out to the police
Right.
department and we said, we need help
What she's
with.
trying to say is she's delineating between a company having an event and reaching out to us to do all the work, or are they just going to reach out to the police department
Right.
and organize with them? So we're not doing that work anymore, or the town's not doing that work.
But then there's also the permit that applies and says, oh, we don't need any police or town support, but then they end up needing it because it becomes bigger. That
But that might
happens.
be that
so-
might be a selling point of having the fee, like, hey, we're going to take care of all of the logistical
Right,
stuff for
and
you to
so-
pay this fee.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't know I was making policies when I joined this committee. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it was going to be fun, guys.
Well, once we.
Oh, yeah.
have this
I've made so
list,
many, I hate it.
Then
Sorry.
it's my understanding that when we compile our list of events is that where we see gaps, part of what this committee is going to do.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
yeah.
good idea. Yeah, yeah.
As you said, fun, that's fun.
Yes, it is.
So we need this to get it organized.
I know.
Yeah.
In my experience with policies and procedures, they need to be reviewed at least every 3
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Things do change.
Well, and like I said before, I am very much looking at it from the other side, all possibilities. So I'm going worst case scenario anytime I'm looking at something.
As an example,
And so,
right now, that new field is not ours, it's the
Right.
school's. But ultimately, the town is going to have to take over maintenance of that field 10 years out. And we know this because when they applied, they said, We'll take care of it for 10 years, but then the town's going to need to step in." Well, this policy will have to
Right.
change because that will no longer just be a school facility.
Yep.
That said, it is
Yes.
5:15. We have families to feed.
Yeah.
and
I was gonna
things
say,
to
I don't
do.
think I had any major
So,
notes
What we've
on
got.
anything
No,
else.
well, let's do another pass. Dawn, in the meantime, is going to get us Isabel's
Yes.
proposal.
Yep.
Let's use email to exchange on whether we want to recommend Rachel,
Yep.
Meg.
Yeah, I think once we get
Or
that,
Isabel.
we can probably just do an email, unless we
Yeah.
have to have an official vote, but I think
I mean,
emailing,
it's between
Our
Renee
preferred.
and Isabel.
yeah, and so,
There's strong leanings if it's a good proposal that
yeah,
go with a Winthrop president.
yes, I think so too.
That said, that
Best
doesn't
in our
mean,
own town.
that doesn't mean there's not a way to maybe perhaps engage them both.
Right.
I am never opposed to those kinds of approaches. That said,
Yep.
how do you want to handle do you want to wait till the end of July to meet again about this? Or do you want to try to do another Monday afternoon after the 4th? And that's one last thing while she's looking at her calendar.
I'm okay meeting beforehand too. I would rather not
I
wait.
have good and bad news. I ordered those banners, 2 of them, 96 flags.
Yeah.
We could plaster all over town. Today, 2 emails, messages telling me they're coming tomorrow, and 1 telling me they're coming next week. I will keep you
Yep.
apprised
Yep.
via email. I have friended you
Yep.
befriended you on Facebook. It's generally the 4 of us. I invited you to the new page. You will have an invite out there.
Okay, yeah.
For Facebook,
Called Meet Me in Downtown. I've used pictures from Bethany. I haven't posted anything yet. I put up a short bio and I've done a couple of other things. Like I've put your address out there. It's there. If you'd rather it be mine, yours is our email contact, always has been.
Do we have, as a committee, an email? Do committees typically have an email?
The council does, the planning board doesn't. So I guess the answer is they can be created, but I'm not sure what the.
I don't know if we need one or not. I just wasn't
Instead of
sure.
doing stuff to, I'll ask
Yeah.
about that policy.
Let's,
Okay, yeah, just,
now it's Dawn.
yeah.
And it should be because we're her babies.
Yeah.
So to speak. And it's out there. Once all 4 of us are on and say, okay, I can post on Citizens. I will post, come join us over here. And I will look for farmer's market and do a post about farmer's market.
Let me know if you can't find it. I
And
can
then
send
like, let me know what kind of pictures you're looking for and I can either find some or send them to you, take them.
We have some pictures mutually over the last year of events that we've
Okay,
had.
yeah, perfect.
I should invite them to that album. Do you want to use that? You're talking about that?
Those are all yours. I can't do I can just look.
Oh, you're probably just a viewer.
Yeah, it's not like I own that.
I was thinking it was something we could all put stuff in, so.
Is it a Google folder?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you share it,
Folder, it's through Google Photos.
oh, interesting. Okay, I don't know anything about photos then. I can't say that then. I've never used it, so.
I'll do whatever you guys want to do. That was what I knew how to do at the time.
Yep, no, that's fine. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It would be nice, I think, so that we
Using the same
can.
picture in both profile and the banner.
Started, maybe that's not a bad thing.
No,
Yeah.
Because people will recognize it no matter.
it's not my favorite. I preferred the first one of those 3, the one with the actual outlined landscape.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's all, we're running with scissors. As an old expression, we are running with scissors.
And so also it's less of a logo and more of a graphic, because typically your logo is mostly just a watermark, image mark, not necessarily all the words. So it's okay if it's not exact, like if there's multiple
I think
types.
the one thing for real estate in that is to remove Maine. Because we know it's going to be Winthrop.
So, but the internet is everywhere.
There's a Winthrop. It's
Internet is everywhere.
My husband has called Winthrop House of Pizza in Winthrop, Massachusetts.
they're
So
like,
many
Are you in Maine? Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
So I'll just say that. So it doesn't necessarily be, I think the page should be named that. We can take it off the graphic. That's fine. But yeah, but there, yeah.
Hey,
it's-
and then with scissors, it's good for now.
Here it is.
Leave it. It is what it is. It's up. It will start using it after you guys all get on it.
Yep.
And say, okay, and then I'll post for the farmer's market and I'll get it posted on Citizens. I'll take care of that. And I ultimately will add all of you as administrators, or whatever you want to call them on Facebook.
So like the fourth Monday, I got everyone scheduled that they could do the fourth Monday, but I was kind of making an assumption that there'd be other meetings of subgroups
Okay, yeah.
because we were meeting.
Yeah, that's
every-
fine.
You know,
I'm good
mostly
with
every
that.
2 weeks. But the fact that we could get everyone together that fourth Monday and then.
Is it fourth or third?
It's the fourth.
Yeah.
Was last week the fourth Monday? This is a fifth Monday in?
Yes.
The long.
Oh, then I lied on that response. I said, oh, no, third Monday. I thought it was.
Oh, the
third Monday.
website needs to be changed too. It says other information for the meeting.
It
Our
says it was on Wednesdays when it was on Wednesday.
Yeah,
whole thing.
I know, no,
Revamped.
I know.
Downtown
But just so you
pieces.
know, and people are like, whatever, it's like,
So
I
I
will
was not going
say,
to come to one of our meetings.
The 25th, then, what you're saying.
but
That's
we
the
want to meet
next-
before that.
The next scheduled meeting, but if you want to have, that's when everyone committed. But if you want to have like
I think
other
there should be,
meetings.
yeah,
You want to keep going on this?
I would like to. I think we should.
Pick a Monday and invite us like you did for this.
I will say, for the month of July, I run the summer camp at my work, and so I will be working until 5:30 every weeknight. There may be chance that I can leave earlier, but I have to commit myself to at least 5 just in case staff isn't available. I can do after that, but
And I am her co-director.
so she will be there
And
too. They will be there
I
too.
am otherwise engaged on Monday and Wednesday evenings after 5.
And
But I
so,
could probably, if it's still going to be at 4, I could probably jump on the Zoom because I
Yeah.
don't necessarily.
yeah, I could possibly do that too. And I can always email thoughts as well. But, so I'm not saying it has to be planned around me. I'm just saying
Let
that.
me get the document revised.
Yeah,
put
and
out
we'll
in
look
front
out
of
there.
everybody,
Yes, yeah.
And then we'll try to decide what we can do. If we do a 5:30 to 6 Zoom,
Is it possible that we can do a Google Doc that is shared for everybody to actually comment on versus just a Word
In it,
document?
I've not created one. It's probably not that hard, but I've
No,
not.
you just
No,
copy
it's
and
not.
paste what you have right into a Google Doc.
So where do you
And then
find the
share it
Google
with
Doc?
us.
I can probably.
When you go to Google, do you sign into your email for work at Google?
Yes.
So up in the corner, there's a box of dots.
Yeah.
Click that and go to Drive.
Oh.
And then you can create one in there. You can go to Doc too,
Okay.
but you might have to put it in someplace specific.
Okay.
I have,
But you'll have to make sure the permissions are for anyone with the link, not just people at your organization.
Yep.
So it probably says everyone at winthropmaine.org or it's anyone with a link.
Okay.
And I don't mind stopping by and helping too if you need it. I mean, I'm sure you have people in the office too, like that can help, but I don't mind either. Because that will be helpful because then you can make notes right on the side there. And we don't necessarily, I don't think we have to come together every time there's a revision. I think
Right.
making notes, we can kind of agree on what the outcome is and then revise it and do it remotely too, I think.
Yeah, well, there's quite a bit we can do that way, but we also have to be careful because this is a public property.
Yes, of course. That's true. Oh, that's true.
Not
Yeah.
Making big decisions.
Yes.
Like fine tuning things. or,
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Comments that you're going to then discuss at a public meeting.
Correct. Yeah, that's okay.
It helps move things forward for sure, but we just want to be careful.
Yep.
Let me get the document revised
Yep.
and I'll probably do it sometime this week. No.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
There's a million other things as.
It's a holiday week. Why? I mean, you should be able to get it done.
Oh my gosh. I'll try so we can.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, find a time, potentially at 4, where we can do another 30 minutes, revise again.
Yep.
Just so maybe by August, we've got a document that can go in front of the town council. They are taking back burner things this summer as well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we shoot to have this done for a September town council meeting. So Does that help you make?
Yep, having that outline is helpful. I didn't hear from Danya, except for she said she would be here. I haven't heard anything from her since. Has anyone heard from Danya? This isn't Danya, but.
No, well, I say there's only 4 flower pots on Main Street. It's very sad. Very sad.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Days, and you know, if those banners come in, we can spend half an hour downtown.
Sounds good.
We might have some